This is another Frank collab.
The Bachelor came across my desk in a sales capacity, basically, like we're going to start sending this out to agencies to look for sponsors. Then my boss was like, you should apply.
What was the backlash from that then? Was it more from the corporate side of it, or was it more from the public side?
They sort of thought, it's not a great look, is it? Like a unnamed media company employee winning
it.
a media company show.
Not everyone makes it on social media. Not everyone creates a following.
After the finale of The Bachelor aired, I got like 10,000 followers overnight, literally
Wow.
overnight.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the morning, I was just like, who are these people? We were ordering something and I turned around and then I said to Art, everyone is staring at us. Like the entire food court was staring at us and whispering. And it was really disconcerting. I didn't know what to do.
It's so nice to hear you talk about it. As I say, looking to you as a role model, as many do, it's good to know the humanness about you.
I don't mind if people see real life. I don't mind if people see a bit of mess, as long as they're not visitors coming to my home.
You're pulled in different ways because they are fans, kind of you've done a deal with them, they're expecting different things.
Guilt is important. Like guilt tells us something. Women can have it all, but not at the same time. And that's just something that we need to accept.
Welcome to Stand Up Again with Sophie and Nick Ratto.
You'll know today's guest from The Bachelor. She's a major TV personality and influencer. She's a brand ambassador for some of the major brands here. And so today we talk social media, how to handle the haters, along with her movement before 16.
Today's guest is Matilda Green. So Matilda, thank you so much for coming on Stand Up Again with Sophie and Nick Ratto. Appreciate your time and energy today.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Matilda. From the outside looking in, you have, this incredible career. From falling in love with art on The Bachelor in the early days to now being a really prominent TV personality. We see you represent really big, major brands for New Zealand. You're a published author, a mum, of course, and all the work you're now doing as well with your podcast, with radio, and the movement of Before 16. So,
thank you for having me. It's really nice and it's very comfortable, and I'm just already.
We brought cushions for you today.
You've got cushions and a lovely armchair. It's very nice.
The cushions are new.
They're a new addition.
They're a new addition because I was basically like a toddler. My legs went.
We were swinging our legs, basically. And it also just feels more living room. And that's what I feel like this would be with us, just having a good old chat and just a chin wag.
So do cushions stop the legs swinging? How does that come into play?
I put them behind my back, so I'm a little bit forward.
So lengthens the legs.
I get you, so your legs are on the floor.
So I'm on the floor.
And for me, I was noticing about halfway, like leaning.
It's really comfortable on the couch.
Yeah, too much like a living room couch, actually. Yeah.
So very like ergonomic
Shoes
design now. I really want to go back to actually the beginning where we start to come to know Matilda and actually the moment before you go on The Bachelor. Tell us what you were doing, what had you maybe studied or planned for your life at that moment?
And how old were you at that time?
I was 24 when I went on The Bachelor, so just a little spring shock. And I can't watch it back now because I'm just like, she's a child. She's a child. Yeah. But I guess, so pre-Bachelor, where to start? Okay, let's start at finishing high school. Let's start there. So I left high school halfway through year 13. Because, let's just get straight into it. I think I have undiagnosed ADHD, guys. Okay, so
you're amongst good friends here.
Amongst good friends.
Yeah, like everyone does at the moment, don't they? Everyone's got undiagnosed ADHD. But I think it started when I was around 14 or 15, and then what happened was just everything sort of fell off a cliff. And so, long story short, I got to the end of my schooling years and just thought, I am not an intelligent person, and those are the cards I've been dealt, and that's all right. I've accepted that now, and now what I'm going to do is rely on the other skills I have, which is relationships and people. Mm-hmm. And so halfway through year 13, I thought, this isn't going to work. There's no way I'm going to pass. So a job came up at a media company in New Zealand, and at and it was reception in their sales office. And I thought, well, that's good for me. You know, like I think sales and media is probably the most obvious option for me. And my family was like, I think that's the case too.
Yeah.
We're in agreement.
I think scientist and doctor are out, so we're gonna. But media sales, I think achievable. So, so I started that and did that for a few years, and then I had pretty much a really clear-cut path in front of me. I was good at it. I moved up pretty quickly, and then I moved to London. I think it was I moved to Melbourne first and then moved to London, I think when I was 20 or 21. And did a couple of years over there. And then when I came home, actually, I was in a bit of because I think a lot of people will be able to relate, you know, if you've done the classic UK stint or the overseas stint and then you come home and you just feel a little bit untethered. You know, I was trying to find a job. I was trying to find a partner. And this was during like peak Tinder time, just to paint a picture of the year. The year was, I think, 20, oh God, what would have been 2013 maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is everyone was then like online dating, Tindering, and I finally got a job back at the same media company that I had started with actually, and it shall not be named. Don't worry.
For legal purposes.
You mean the other one in New Zealand?
Exactly. And so then I was working there, and long story short, I was going on a lot of like literally 2 dinners a week, you know, of dating, and my boss just thought it was the funniest thing because I'd come back and he was just like couldn't get enough because he had 2 kids. He had a wife and 2 kids, and he was like, "What's the latest on the dating?" You know, he was. We had a lot of fun, and then The Bachelor came across my desk in a sales capacity, basically, like we're going to start sending this out to agencies to look for sponsors.
Right.
And then my boss was like, you should apply. And then I started off being like, oh, I couldn't do that, you know, because I work for this unnamed media company who is putting on this show. So that's not going to work. But then I thought about it. And I thought, well, maybe it could. I mean, there's no cash prize. And it's not as if I would have any advantage by working at the company. So then I had to get it approved by all the powers that be, you know, and they had all these different meetings, and it was fed through the boardrooms, and then they basically came back and said, okay, you know, you can give it a go. And then after The Bachelor, when I came back to work, that's when they were like, we do actually have a bit of an issue.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh.
Oh, really?
Right. Well, just because then I'd got right to the end, you know. So I think they were like, fine to be a part of it.
Sure.
Winning it is sort of a different kettle of fish. Yeah.
What was the backlash from that then? Was it more from the corporate side of it, or was it more from the public side? What was...
I think it was more from public perception side, because it just... They sort of thought, oh, it's not a great look, is it? Like a unnamed media company employee winning it. A media company show. But, you know, we just had to stand by the fact that there's no cash. Like, if anything, I lost money. You know what I mean? So
unpaid leave.
Yeah.
So then you win The Bachelor, or win Art's Love. Then you go back to work. How long did you stay in that role? And then when was the turning point of the sort of major career shift?
So it was probably about maybe a year and a half to 2 years, where it just got to the point where so I actually left that media company after a year, went to another media company, and then stayed there for about a year. But it got to the point where I was saying no to so many jobs that were really fun, like really cool social content jobs that I really wanted to do, but I just couldn't do it because of contractual obligations and time and all of this sort of thing. And so, it just got to a point where I thought maybe I could have a go at this. And I had a plan to then start a social media agency at the time. That was kind of my goal, because back at that time, so this was 2015 when The Bachelor aired, but then it would have actually been 2016, 2017 when I left. But around that time, the link between reality TV and then influencer career wasn't cemented. Like, it was kind of just starting. I remember a co-worker making a joke like, oh, you could have a career being an influencer, and then we all sort of laughed because it wasn't the most common thing. Whereas now, I mean, people go on reality TV shows to become an influencer. So the link is really there, but at that time it wasn't really.
It was
It was just starting.
Yeah.
It was just starting. So then after a couple of years, I thought, maybe I could have a go at this, start my own social media agency. And then the social media agency just never happened. And I got really busy with full-time content creation work, presenting, and it just sort of happened. Because I had always been really happy with the path my career was taking in media sales. I thought, I've got a really clear trajectory in front of me about where I'm going to get to, and I'm happy as Larry with that. So it was quite the curveball. Yeah.
At that time then, was because the followers that you've amassed at the moment on the different channels, the social channels, how big or small was it after The Bachelor, and how much have you sort of grown it from that initial platform?
Oh, do you know what? I actually can't remember, but I do remember after the finale of The Bachelor aired, I got something like 10,000 followers overnight, literally overnight. Yeah. And I woke up in the morning and I was just like, who are these people? What is happening? Because the stuff that I was posting at that time was like really silly dub smash. Like, do you guys remember dub smash?
Yeah.
It's like really it's kind of, it was sort of like a lip syncing app, and where you just do silly lip sync.
I hope you cleaned your hair out of the drain.
I hope you cleaned your hair out of the drain. That's all I was doing with my friends, was like dub smashing things. And then I'd get comments being like, this isn't funny. And I was like, who are you? Like, what is happening? This is just me and my friend Georgie doing a silly dub smash. And now people are coming into my Instagram telling me that my
what's
silly
right,
videos
what's
are
wrong.
dumb.
Yeah.
So it was quite new. And I mean, we had no idea that it would be this big of a deal.
Yes.
Because it was I think the timing was, people were still watching a lot of TV.
Yeah.
And it was the first Bachelor that was filmed in New Zealand. And I think we just all underestimated how invested people would get with it. I mean, I remember the night that the finale aired, and then it must have been that week or maybe even the day after, I'm not sure. But when Art and I could be public, out in public as a couple, he was at my flat round in Ponsonby, and we popped out to just grab some dinner at Ponsonby Food Court. I'm sure you guys know it.
Of course, yes.
And so we went to Ponsonby Food Court, and as we came in, we were ordering something, and I turned around, and then I said to Art, everyone is staring at us. Like, the entire food court was staring at us and whispering. And it was really disconcerting. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to look, where to put my hands. I didn't know just where to sit. And then we just said, let's just get takeaway and go. This is so weird. And that was kind of the start of how big it was at the time. Wow. Yeah, it was crazy. It was actually quite a horrible feeling.
I can imagine that, actually. There's nothing worse than feeling watched or feeling like eyes are on you.
Yeah, and then Art and I, because we were still getting to know each other. It was very early on in our relationship. Yeah. And so then we didn't really know how to interact with each other, because everyone was watching us, and we were like, do we act
in love
more of a couple? Do we give them what they want? It was just quite a bizarre feeling.
You used the word trajectory. I was happy with the trajectory my life was going. And then it kind of makes me think there would have been a moment, I'm sure, whenever we're making a decision on something where we decide, maybe I won't. Do you often wonder, to use the big term fate, what if you hadn't gone on to The Bachelor?
And I would add to that, what if, because the way that it was presented with the execs okaying you going on the show, feels like a royal family, organized wedding type situation as well. If they had said no, if there one person goes, actually, no, it doesn't, it's not a good look, let's not put her on. What do you think about those?
You ponder on that. I think those decisions we make in life change everything.
I know. And I do ponder it sometimes and just think, I wonder what I would be doing. And I kind of, to be honest, I know pretty much exactly what I would be doing. I would be in the corporate world, I can imagine I would have still been a mother. That's always been something that I've always really wanted. But you never know, right? Like I might not have met anyone that I click with. So it's one of those things I do sometimes think, what if, like if I didn't have a whole family and if I was doing well in the corporate world, would I just be like a cashed up solo person just going on holidays? And,
The fantasy of the other life.
Just going out for dinner every night whenever I want.
Yes.
I sometimes think that I saw Nick in a show and I was sick that night. I probably shouldn't have been out, but it was my brother's birthday. We went to watch a gig and Nick was hosting the gig. And I think it was not like I would watch comedy shows. It wasn't anything I was doing. It was just a random invite because it was my brother's birthday. And if I hadn't gone that night, if I thought, I'm sick, I'll stay home, would I have ever met Nick? It makes me
would
wonder.
Would your paths have crossed anywhere else? You know? Like if you didn't have any mutual friends and you're living different lives, like apart from that one little sliding doors moment.
Yeah, I do. I often think that. Anyway, just a side note, but I often ponder that myself and I wonder, have you thought that? And that big decision you made, I'm so glad you did that because as Art was falling in love with you, the whole nation was. We adore you. And like all my friends, I think, the following that you've amassed now on social media is testament to just how much people look at you as a role model. I would say that hand on heart, I think that. And I know so many of my friends do, especially the mums as well with the movement you're behind now with Before 16. We'll get to that. But I think you are so loved. And I'm wondering what it is about, why do you think that is? Because not everyone makes it on social media. Not everyone creates a following. So what do you think it's been about your journey into social media that has really struck a chord with people?
I think that because I do get asked that question a bit, and then people or people want to know how to create a following, how to then have content creation be your job. And the truth is I don't know because like it was all just moment after moment after moment. But I think because of the timing of the show, like we went onto it because we thought we might meet someone. Like I could go onto this show and meet someone that I might spend the rest of my life with. And if not, what a cool experience. I'll meet some great people, potentially friends for life, and, do some really cool things. And so the fact that then we sort of had this social following bestowed on us without really any strategy behind it, I think that's what it is that we weren't trying and that wasn't the goal. That was a little piece of it. And so I think that's what people like about us maybe is that it's never been the goal to just get heaps of followers and create lots of content. It's just been quite natural and quite organic. Like that's not to say every post is completely just off the cuff. I mean, that's our job is to create content for brands, part of our job. But I think there's a side to us where we don't mind looking silly. I don't mind if people see real life. I don't mind if people see a bit of mess as long as they're not visitors coming to my home. Then it's okay. And I think people relate to that because we're all a little bit messy, aren't we? We're all like no one's perfect, and sometimes I feel as though we're all living this facade of trying to keep up appearances and like we've got it all together and we've all got perfect lives when none of us do.
I think, and I think a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people also they want to hear that it was calculated.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to go, because they did that and that equals that
by the formula.
The formula, and I think when you, but as we chat to a lot more people on the show, a lot of it comes down to taking the opportunity when it presents itself, not worrying about the outcome, and also if it doesn't work out, then that's a cool experience.
Yep.
And those three things you ticked again, we've sort of cemented that. And then once it's presented itself, okay, now what can I do with it? With no sort of, I'm not too sure. I don't want to put a number on, where this could go or where it could lead to. But the fact that you, with your skill set up until then, had been in sales and had been, with connection And also to leave at high school when you could have finished out there, you could have coasted to the end of the year, but to then go, no, this isn't for me, make the decision and then go. Can you talk to your thinking process and your doing process and how much they are intertwined, or how quickly you just have an idea and go for it?
I think the benefit of my parents being two polar opposites,
Right?
Hence now divorced, but
Okay, yeah.
yin and yang didn't quite
Chalk
match
and
up this
cheese.
time. But
yes.
but my dad is only in the moment, right? He is. I'm always amazed at how little he cares about the future. Like sometimes to his detriment, I'm like, you don't want to be a bit planning for the future? Nope, not going to worry about that. Just gonna
See how
make
it goes.
decisions on the fly.
Yeah.
And part of me has always admired that about him, but because he just doesn't worry about the future. He always says that he was surprised he'd make it this far. So I've witnessed that, and I've witnessed the pros and cons that come with that. And then I look at my mum, who is the opposite. She's very much a planner. She's always thinking about the future. She's always thinking about what her decisions mean for future her.
Wow.
But then that then comes with anxiety and worry as well, with if something doesn't work out, what is that going to mean and how am I going to deal with that? And so I think I have found a good sweet spot in the middle where I know that life is for living. I know that in general, things can work out if you take a little bit of risk, but take some smart risks as well. And I think I'm just pretty decisive. You know, I usually know what I want, and I think, well, you know, what's the worst that could happen? Let's just go for it and figure it out at the end, which I guess is helpful when I have a safety net of a strong relationship. I've got good connections around me. Community is incredibly important to me.
Yeah.
So that's something that I place at the heart of like everything I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we never met before today. I know that you and Nick have met a few times with your work in charity with Rodney's Women's Refuge. But so in just doing the organizing for the emails for today, meeting and the interview today, I thought a general impression, which I shouldn't create in the first impression, I know, but was you were fast to reply to emails, which blew my mind because I'm like 1 to 3 business days and then I'll get back to you. But I thought, wow, she's fast. She's replied already. I must reply it quickly too. Because I don't know, I'm just, but in that immediate sort of impression of you, I thought, oh, she's really got it together. And that's true or partly true?
So not true.
So not true.
So not true. But I think I have gotten a lot better at that over time.
Respecting people's time and reliability.
And just doing it. You
doing
know
it
what I mean?
now.
Because I find that I am really good at putting things off. Really good at starting projects. Terrible at follow through. Terrible at finishing things.
Yeah.
But I've found now that I just have to be disciplined about just get it off my desk. You know, like if it's an easy reply, like if it's a if it's a hell yes, I'm like definitely. Then let's just lock it in, do it, fun. When are we doing it? Great.
Yeah.
And then that leaves space for the times where you have to use your brain and really
totally
put some time aside.
I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because I'm thinking about the things that I've just got hanging around like a little cloud, the mental load of there's a prescription. I keep getting text reminders, pick up this prescription. I'm like, yep. I'm not sick anymore, but I'm like, why didn't I just pick it up?
Yeah.
So it's the mental load.
The age-old question, why don't I just do it?
Why don't I just do it?
Yeah, well, it's when you get annoying emails from something you've subscribed to years ago, and it's you will delete it and complain about it every single day rather than take the literal 3 minutes to just unsubscribe. But we don't because it just feels like just feels a little bit too hard, doesn't it? I don't know why we do that.
I know we just make life hard for ourselves. Well, for me, but so with that discipline, that been hard learned? Is that because you are self-employed and you just had to manage this because no one's going to come in and I'm assuming you don't have like a life admin person where they just sort it out for you, like
I did.
wave a magic wand.
Yeah.
So there's been a hard lesson learned for you to
Yes.
self-manage and self-employment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And also I learned from my husband Art, who we call him Art Logistics Green. Like the man is just
Okay.
military precision with
Really?
Nice.
just with everything, you know, which is great, and can be a little bit painful at times because
Sure.
he's like, how do you take so long to, you know, like,
because he's timed it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then he's like following me around the house, like turning on the tap, and like, is that these eggs still poaching? No, they've been on there for about half an hour. Yeah,
Hard boiled.
Yeah.
So I find that usually when I'm nailing one thing in life, when it's like admin, school admin, because you guys have got kids, you know that like there's. It's a big job running a household.
It's a
full-time job. There's a lot of admin.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot of
work.
overtime.
So I have to be disciplined because otherwise I just find that I drop the ball and like there's been times, oh God, like one time I was working on radio doing the maternity leave cover for
At the
BJ
hits.
on the hits.
Yes.
Yeah, which was so much fun, but it was a real stretch at the time. It was quite a lot. And
How old were your kids when that was going on?
it was last year, so they were 5, 3, and just under 2, so little, real little. And I mean, it's like it's full-time work, which so many people do, like when they've got little kids.
Yeah.
But I just found that on top of my other work and the household admin, I was like, I'm actually at capacity. Lost a little chunk of hair at the back there. I think I was a bit stressed because we sold the house at that time too. So there's just a bit, you know,
a
there's
lot
just a bit going on.
Yeah.
And so but I insisted that I wanted to keep all the school and kid admin because I have this, like, I don't know what it is. I just feel like it has to be me because I'm the mum, you know. I feel like I have to have that role, which is bizarre in itself. But and sometimes I feel like I've got a lot to prove because I do have this tendency to have a bit of like undiagnosed ADHD going on. I feel like I have a lot to prove and be like, see, I can do this, you know, I can be disciplined. I can handle all of this admin because, you know, like I'm not useless. I'm not, because I think I had that belief for so long through school and a lot of my working life that people were like, you know, she's just a bit, you know, just can't quite keep up with everything. So I feel like I have something to prove in that regard. And so I was working on radio, and then it was my daughter's birthday. But her birthday was on the weekend, and they had a little preschool celebration for her during the week. So that's kind of what they do. Like the parent brings in a little treat, and they have it in the afternoon. And I dropped her off in the morning, and I had just forgotten what day the celebration was. No, that's right. I had to tell Art to go early because I was on the radio. So to tell Art to go early with the cake so that he could be there for the celebration because I knew what day it was on. Art didn't.
Right.
I forgot to tell Art. And so then my darling 4-year-old daughter was waiting around. Oh my God, it makes me want to cry just thinking about it.
We have tissues.
She was waiting at preschool for both of us to turn up, and neither of us did. And I was just like, and I got a call from Art because then he picked her up at the usual time, and he was like, today was the day that she had her birthday celebration, and so she was waiting for us, and we weren't there. And I just burst into tears, and I was like, no. And it's one of those moments where we just can't, you know, we can't nail everything.
No, we're going to make
sometimes
mistakes.
there's a ball that's dropped that is a really important ball, and you're just like, I replied to that email on time, but I missed this hugely important thing, and I let down my daughter, you know? So it's usually when we're nailing something else falls off.
Well, I want to talk to that as well because of the social aspect of it and being in the public eye as well, and being... people pleasing is not the right word, but you are... entertaining is the wrong word as well, but you are...
It's a type of performance.
It is a performance. You're pulled in different ways because they are fans. They are kind of, you've done a deal with them. They're expecting different things. And because it's not just that one solid job, 9 to 5 at the one place, because you're self-employed and you have to keep all these plates spinning all the time as well as the family. How do you... have you gotten better at that? I know it's not always going to be that particular moment there, but have you got any structures in place? Maybe this is where art comes in.
Yeah. So we're really lucky in our family setup is that both of us majority work from home. So
Right.
like we can usually
There's flexibility.
juggle. Yeah. And I don't take that for granted
Yes.
ever.
Do you live by family? Do you have family support?
Yes. So my mum is close by and she's now retired. And so she has my little one day a week.
Nice.
And which is great. My little one's 2. So like we've been able to keep her at home. She hasn't started anything yet, which I just feel so lucky to be able to do. And like we can usually kind of juggle it, but it is really tricky. I mean, anyone watching or listening that is working with a family, like it's a constant juggle. But I think I've gotten pretty good at boundaries as well, and it's not perfect. Like it means that usually when I put the kids to bed, we'll work for a couple of hours in the evening, but I sometimes I'm like, oh God, it would be nice if I could just switch off and just like watch TV or do my knitting, which I'm just obsessed with. But we can't. And then but it means that the time that I am at home and then picking up the kids or whatever, I'm with them 100%. And then I could go to their after school things and just save most of the work until the evening. Like we can just be really disciplined in the time where we've got childcare or if Art's on the kids and I've got time to work. So it's just there's no kind of clear cut boundaries. We've got to make them ourselves, which has definitely been a journey, especially when there's a clash of some sort. Like if we both have something urgent to do and it becomes this moment of like, well, whose job is more important at the moment?
When these exciting opportunities happen, and we get this in our life as well, is especially when you've got a family, how do you make the decision of doing that really cool opportunity versus the kids, the family structure, like the hits, for example, great opportunity.
Yeah, that seemed to work really well. I like
really great, but how do you make that decision? Because we've had many. You're going through something at the minute.
I just got offered a great opportunity, and I look at it and I go, I can't do it. I literally can't do it, and that's hard because it's just a season. I have to accept that, but the priority is, the family, the kids, and supporting Nick in his role as well. And I just know it's something I'd like to do, but it's not going to be right now. And that's a hard decision. It's a hard decision to make. But I was thinking, with the hits, I'm assuming Art was at home during that time, and that would have been hard, not only for you being away, missing kind of that part of the day being drive time.
Yeah.
He was, in the, I'm going to say.
He was in the trenches.
He was in the trenches.
Majorly.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's doing bedtime, bath time,
Yeah.
dishes, all the rest of it. It's a hard balance. So I guess in a marriage, like, you start off and you're all loved up in The Bachelor, sort of this beautiful heart shape around you both. And then you move into the marriage and you move into, professional to married couple. And then you have family, you have children, and you have 3 children.
Yeah.
And so... yeah.
And the perception
it's a transition each time.
And the perception of everyone is influencer couple, really do cool, things being thrown at them. It's almost like no hard work's gone to it. They've been handed everything. But then that's a clear change. No one really sees it. They will see the iceberg of it. Yeah. So I guess the question we're sort of driving to is, how do you make those decisions of like really cool things versus family? And have you got it wrong? And also, like what
does it feel balanced? I guess in the relationship, I wonder that with both working couples, and do you feel there's a balance there, or do you feel sometimes one has to make a sacrifice so the other one can go a bit and then the other one moves forward more?
You're bang on. It's constant swings and roundabouts. I think and so much of it comes down to, I mean, you guys will know this, just really clear and open communication between each other, because we have these kind of big sauna chats where like where we need to make life decisions. We'll like have a sauna together and just
sweat it out.
You can't have devices in the sauna, so that's like our and you're also kind of trying to distract yourself because Art has it up to 100 degrees. It's just absurd.
Yeah.
So it's quite an endurance fest. So we're like talking heaps to try and get through it. But, and I remember having this because I'd been thinking about it when our third Penny was little. She was only like a few months old. And I was like, let's have a sauna because I want to talk to you about something. And he was like, okay. And so we had a sauna and we put the kids to bed and had a sauna. And then I said to him, like, I've just been thinking about it and I really want to stay home with Penny. Third time around, I just want to drink it all and I want to be with her all the time. And so that's going to mean you doing pretty much most of the work, like 90% of the work. And that's a sacrifice. It means you'll probably be spending less time with all three so that I can spend more time with our littlest when she's this age. And so we had this big talk about it because he's a really hands-on dad. He's an amazing dad to spend so much time with them. And then he was kind of like, okay, that's fine. We can make this work. I'll take on more work so you can be with her. And then I reckon probably a few weeks later, I got a call from the hits being like, are you interested?
Another change in trajectory?
Yeah. Maybe a few months later. And then I thought, oh my God, what do we do here? I have just made this commitment to myself that I want to be home with her. And now I've got this opportunity of 6 months of full-time work doing drive show where I'm out for, probably 11 or 12 o'clock till 7:30 at night.
And getting home at 8:30 vibes.
Yeah, exactly. So
and the babies are all asleep.
And then Art goes from taking on more work to then getting rid of it all to be full-time to 3 kids. And so then that threw a huge spanner because I was like, back in the sauna, Art, we've got to have another sauna. and then we had to really feel it out. Like, is this what I want to do, and I kind of came down to the fact, like, my mum has always said to me, she's so wise, I respect her opinion so much, and she said women can have it all but not at the same time. And that's just something that we need to accept, that like we want to reach for the stars with our career, we want to be a present and engaged mother, we want all of these things, but it's just we've just got to space them out, and there are pauses in some so that you can focus on another one, and there are pauses on this when you can focus on that a bit more, and there's all seasons. And there is time. She said, like, when you look at your life as a pie chart, like the time when your kids are little is just the tiniest little slice. And so I went back and forth and back and forth, back and forth, and thought, well, if I can nail that 6 months, if I can do a really good job and prove that I can do that, then I can do a hard and fast 6 months where we all just kind of grapple through and make it work, and then get to the end, and then I'm with the kids 100%. And then who knows, maybe 2 years, 5 years down the track, something comes up where it's like, this could be full-time work, kids are a bit older, and I could do it. And so we made the decision, just thought, I'm just going to, let's just smash it, like take the opportunity, see how we go. And I'm really glad I did, because I really loved it. But I got to the end of the 6 or 7 months and I was like, I don't want to do it anymore, because I want to be home as much as I can, just while they're so little. Because I noticed that Penny, our third, was like starting to reach for art. Like at night she only wanted art and stuff, and I was like,
yeah, that's
especially because he's the favorite anyway. And so I was like, no, the third one is surely, if we have a third, I'll be the favorite.
The law of averages.
And then we were kind of like, like I was kind of the favorite. And then after the hits, that changed a bit. And then I was like, oh no, we can't be.
I know. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that keeps you awake at night as a mum. The forgetting the birthday treat, the celebration, and just that feeling that it's the mum guilt, and it's so normal, and it's so nice to hear you talk about it and normalize it, because as I say, looking to you as a role model, as many do, it's good to know the humanness about you.
Yes.
I think people go, oh yeah, I feel that too. I think that's really important.
But guilt is important. Like guilt tells us something.
It keeps us accountable, right?
So I think like there's a real narrative around mum guilt, and how like, oh, like we're all kind of struggling with mum guilt, but it's important to think, well, what's that telling us? Like, if we're feeling guilty every day, if there's something, if we feel like we're missing something and we're feeling guilty about it, then are we doing the right thing? Is this is that the right path for now? If you're constantly feeling guilty, and I know it's really hard, right? Because we're all trying to make a living. We're like all trying to look after our kids, but I don't think it's helpful to just try and erase guilt. Say just don't feel guilty about it.
Push it down.
Just ignore it because it's there for a reason.
It's
we
there
feel
to tell
guilty
you
for
something.
a reason. It's telling us something, and it is tricky, right? Because we all want to be the perfect parent all the time, and it's just not possible.
I really love that because I've said this about anxiety before. Anxiety isn't a thing that we should just push away or try and ignore because it's our bodies telling us something. There's a change in our environment. But I've never heard someone say that about the emotions that we have in us. Like guilt is also another emotion that comes up. Anxiety, guilt, quote unquote, negative traits. But yeah, to look at it like okay, I acknowledge it. It's in here. All right, so why am I feeling this? Yeah. And am I okay with this environment and this surrounding? And is there anything in my power and my control that I could potentially not feel guilty the next day or what have you? Yeah. And that's not to say that, we have erased the thing that's happened because we can't learn from it. But yeah, how do we move forward and how does it not define us? Because sometimes we can just sit in that guilt and then you're paralyzed by it. And that's not a good place to be in either.
No, definitely. Like there's always an element of control somewhere of something that we can tweak, a change that we can make in response to that feeling of feeling guilty. Like why is it there?
Yeah.
And then just do a bit of unpacking and see what we can change.
Yes.
I'm thinking about in terms of social media and the content you were, putting out. Did you find that having children, starting out as a mum, did you feel any change in yourself and what you were wanting to share? Were you wanting to keep some things for private? Like, was there anything that you had that you were like, we're not sharing this?
100%. And it's a constant evolving thing. I mean, when we first had kids, I saw social media as a totally different thing. Like we would have the kids in our content because it was fun and it was just family life. Like I wasn't saying, hey, hold up this brand of juice or whatever, but like it was, like I was just.
Although there could be money.
Yeah. But, like it was just family life was my life.
Yeah.
But then as I've gotten more into family life and parenthood, my priorities have changed and now privacy and security is like number one. But I've still made mistakes, so many mistakes where, I might do a job and I might like feature the kids in a bit in it and like we don't show their faces anymore. But sometimes I think that sort of didn't feel, and again, it's that feeling. It's like something about that felt a bit off. Yeah. I didn't like that. Or if I said like, and it's hard because we're trying to balance everything, right? Like my job allows me to stay at home with my kids. So creating content is part of that bigger picture of like, well, what do I really want out of life? And it's a thriving family. And so being able to do that content allows me to do that. But there has been times where you get a bit carried away and you're like, can you just grab that? Yeah. Just
yes.
Can you just grab it again, Dal? And I'm like, oh no. That and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Every time after I've done something like that and gone a bit carried away and I've crossed one of my own boundaries because I never want my children to be a prop in anything, which I see so often, but I'm really protective over them and their lives and their own autonomy. And so, but there's definitely been many mistakes where I've been like, I don't want to do a job like that again. That just didn't quite sit right.
Yeah, I think Nick's been, doing more content videos recently, and I think I've heard you say, "Oh, Billy, could you just hold the camera for us?" Getting the kids to be like cameraman.
It's more behind the scenes.
And it also depends on your kid's age as well. Like my kids are little, and so when they don't understand something, that's when I'm like, that just felt a bit off.
Yeah.
Like if they don't understand the context and they're just like, am I playing or not? Like, what's going on?
Well, the biggest thing I think as well sometimes, and this is what I was trying to get to before, is that making that decision. And I feel like you guys have kind of nailed it with that. Okay, when the kids are at after school or what have you, or back at home, and then you sort of leave all the work till the evening.
Yeah.
That's really a really good bit of advice, because sometimes you will especially for me, like I'll film something or I'll do something, or I'm in the email and I've got to get it done. I don't have to. I mean, what's the difference between 3 hours and what have you? But if that feeling of getting this done, or if I can just do this, I can be with you here.
Yeah.
But sometimes
it always takes so much longer.
It always takes so much longer than you
video.
think, and then that moment's gone with your kids as well, and that's a guilt. Like that's a guilt as well, right? That's a feeling of like, I've done the thing, I've sent the job, and now I've got the time, but that moment where they wanted to hang out with us or play or show us something is gone.
Yeah. And I really find that the most stressful time as a parent is when I'm trying to do both at the same time, is when I'm trying to hang out with the kids and parent them, and I'm also trying to get work done at the same time.
Yeah.
I hate it, because I'm kind of the worst version of myself as a parent, because I get quite snappy, because I'm like, I just need to focus on this for 2 minutes. I need to finish this while you're doing that. And they don't understand, right? Like, it's not their job to kind of schedule their play around what we have to do. And they also don't understand the difference between like sending a work email and just sitting on your phone and being distracted. They don't get that. That's not their world. And I just find that I can't focus on what I need to do work-wise. And so I'm doing a half job there, I'm doing a half job looking after them. But I'm like, I kind of just want to do a full job with both. Like, let's just do full job with you guys, and then we can all have fun. Like, we can all enjoy ourselves.
You get fun, mum.
Yeah, and do what we want to do. And then in the evening, sometimes I'm like, I can't even string a sentence together. But at least I can just do it, just focus on it. Kids are in bed. Sometimes they're like getting up and, I need some
water.
But like most of the time, then I can just focus on that.
And I think,
it's way more efficient.
Yeah, I was thinking with the undiagnosed ADHD comment from earlier, a big part of that is super focus. And if you're getting pulled out and distracted from the task in front of you where your focus and energy is, it's actually, I feel that in myself. I get quite irritable. Like, I feel, what are you, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, it kind of brings out the worst. Because
I hear that.
It's like frustrating when you're trying to focus and you can't focus, and then you feel guilty because you're like, I know you just want a snack, and like you just want someone to play Uno with you. I'll come and sit down. And
That feeling of you're not doing anything, you're doing everything but not doing anything well. I think is really, a lot of people feel that, and I don't think a lot of people talk about it because there's that expectation. What you said before about you can have all of the things but just not at the same time. I think that kind of comes into that.
Watered down output, or
because that was what COVID was, and everyone felt it. And
it was a nightmare.
Yeah. And people don't talk about that either, of the stress of that. And everyone's trying to just keep it calm, keep it go. We're all good, we're okay. And then, financial troubles and all this other stuff that's going on, as well as the fear of everything that was as well. So that was
homeschooling their kids at the same time as working a full-time job. Like, it was absurd.
I'm so glad our kids were so little at that age. I mean, just like first year at school, but I'm so glad, because it was just chit chat on what Zoom.
Like, you're trying to do a work Zoom call, and then you're like, 2 times tables, and like, sure, write an essay on this. I mean, it's just
unrealistic.
Yeah.
So this is where Nick and I would usually jump into the debrief post an episode, but
the episode went a little bit deeper than we intended it to go. A couple of difficult questions we put to Matilda, like these.
Am I addicted to my device? I am. I probably am. I'm thinking when I was self-employed, I had my own business, and I was checking that email like probably every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was a day that I never did. Even on Christmas Day, I went in there. Don't know why. Do you think you're addicted?
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Like, I have to work really hard to have...
you got to hook them. So you got to have like a visual hook, an audio hook, and movement in the screen to get them to watch it. A lot of creators, content people, I've used it. I have to do these things to please this algorithm. How do we as content producers, then also not take the blame as well?
It's tricky because...
And the answers she gave deserved a whole episode in itself. It is a must watch. We'll see you on the other side for part 2 of Matilda Green.